Well, the Knicks announced that Carmelo Anthony will have season-ending left knee surgery. The procedure includes a left knee patella tendon repair. Phil Jackson tells reporters that Carmelo is expected to miss 4 to 6 months. Our NBA analyst, Chauncey Billups, on his teammate or former teammate, Carmelo Anthony.
He's best served when he doesn't have to be the leader of the team. And I think that's been shown with his years with me, and even the year that Jason Kidd played with the Knicks. He was kind of leader of the team. I think he needs other strong leadership in that locker room with him. When we were traded there, I told him, I said, Melo, I said, one thing about it, you had life easy in Denver. You were the king. They would cover up for your mistakes on the basketball court. The fans didn't really know enough to really call you out on it. That will be different in New York. Your career probably will never be the same, and we don't know which way that's going to go yet.
Wow. Honest words there from our analyst, Chauncey Billups. Stephen A., how concerned are you about Carmelo's future?
Well, I'm growing to be a bit more concerned than I originally was. Chauncey and I spoke about this several times over the last few weeks or so. And obviously, talking to Carmelo Anthony, the concern appeared to be growing. Now, I know, knowing Carmelo Anthony for the last 12 or 13 years, he's a guy that never wants to go under the knife. He's very reluctant to do that. Rest is obviously always his first option. The fact that there's a surgery to take place gives me cause for alarm, particularly when Carmelo Anthony had religiously been telling us about 8 weeks. And come to find out, now it's 4 to 6 months, according to Phil Jackson. And there's some questions as to whether or not Carmelo Anthony is going to be available for training camp. Well, to me, what I would do is refer everybody to the outstanding column written by our very own Ian O'Connor for ESPN New York, who's just probably the best columnist in America as far as I'm concerned. And what he said with his column was he called out Phil Jackson. Because if Carmelo Anthony's knee was hurting, what was he doing playing games before the All-Star game? What was he doing playing 30 minutes in the All-Star game? And Phil tried to sit there and say it was his choice. No, the hell it isn't. He's your player. He's your player. You're the one that signed off on giving him $124 million. Melo's not supposed to make that call. Phil Jackson was supposed to make that call. And so it's bad enough that the New York Knicks are horrid. It's bad enough that they look so despicable that it is worse than it has ever been. It's bad enough that all of that is true. But then you go out and you trade Tyson Chandler. When he had an expiring contract coming up, okay, you could have just held on to him. It's bad enough that you did so basically trading big for Small and Jose Calderon, who isn't even better than Raymond Felton right now. But then on top of it all, Carmelo Anthony gets to make the call, not Phil Jackson. What purpose is Phil Jackson serving? You're making $12 million. You're getting paid to make this decision, and you leave it up to Melo? I'm under the impression that the knee is sore. You might need to go in there and get it tweaked a little bit. Just sit out the rest of the season. The season's lost anyway. Position yourself for the #1 pick. But now we're learning that this dude might be going 4 to 6 months. How in the hell did Phil Jackson not see this? This is unbelievable to me. And it's not his decision. Well, if that ain't Phil Jackson's decision, why are you there? Why are you there? What purpose do you serve? If you get paid $12 million to be an executive for a franchise that is beyond despicable at this point, and the guy that you gave $124 million to, we come to find out that this brother is more hurt than we thought, and you knew this and said it's his decision? I cannot believe this. Everybody needs to read Ian O'Connor's column in ESPN New York right now. Phil Jackson is officially on the clock, man. This is unbelievable to me. I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense to me, but it is what it is. Melo right now, I'm a bit worried, Skip. I'm very worried because if Melo doesn't come back next year 100%, not only do we not have the star that we thought we'd have, but he's on the books for $100 million over the next 4 years. This is worse than Allen Houston, potentially. Damn it.
Well, I hate to pile on. I hate to be the bearer of more bad tidings. But I'm here to tell you that you should be extremely worried about Carmelo going forward. Stephen A., I don't think he will ever be quite the same after this surgery. I read many comments today from some independent surgeons in the New York papers who speculated from a distance about how serious this surgery can be. Then I spoke to a surgeon I'm close with who treats a number of NFL and NBA players, and he gave me his from a distance 2 cents. And my takeaway from all that is, I don't think he'll ever be the same. That as Carmelo approaches in May, age 31, going on 13 NBA seasons, as you know, he is a big man. He carries some weight, good weight, but he's a moose when he plays, as you know. And there's a lot of pounding on those knees. And most of these doctors are starting to guess that it's becoming an arthritic condition in his knee. We saw it with Amari. We saw it especially with Andrew Bynum. And once they start going south, you can't fix them. You can't clean them up enough. They just become sort of degeneratively arthritic. And over time, I'm afraid you won't ever see the same Carmelo, Stephen A. I think they'll have to reduce his minutes going forward, and he won't be as explosive as consistently as we've seen him in the past. I'm with you. I now have no idea why he played 30 minutes in the All-Star game. It was his house, his show. He wanted to put on a show for his fans and for the nation at Madison Square Garden. But it will only hurt him going forward. And God bless him in this surgery. Like you said, he doesn't like going under the knife. This one's pretty serious, what he's going into. And I think the rehab is going to be pretty serious, 6 to 8 months. And I would be highly doubtful that he will be ready for the start of next season.
If he is not ready for the start of this season, we don't need to pay attention to anybody but Phil Jackson.
That's right.
A legitimate argument needs to be made right now whether or not Phil Jackson knows what the hell he's doing. Because the moves that he's made have not been impressive. He's overpaid by more than double what executives in his position get paid. You got Jerry Krause, the former general manager for the Bulls, who you know very well, who's on the record saying Phil took the job for the money. And then now this has happened, and I'm here to tell you right now, Carmelo Anthony felt betrayed. Carmelo Anthony felt like, look, this is not what he was told that he was going into. That's what I heard from somebody. That he feels betrayed. He's not going to call out Phil himself, but those close to him say he's very ticked off because Phil did not tell him that he was going to have to work under these conditions. This is not on Melo. This is not all on Melo. Anyway, some of it's on him because you don't $124 million man. But this is not all on him. So, I mean, listen, Phil Jackson does not get to walk away from this, man. He does not get to walk away from it. Fix it. Fix it. That is ridiculous. You don't if Phil Jackson can't tell Carmelo Anthony to sit the hell down, you ain't playing in an all-star game. Okay? You're not playing days before the all-star game. You can scratch that. If Phil Jackson can't do that, I'm Jim Dolan. Why the hell am I paying? Well, maybe, hold on, let me pause. Maybe James Dolan wanted Carmelo to be in it because he wanted a Knicks representative in the All-Star game. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Fan.
James Dolan, Phil Jackson, is there a difference?
Hi, Knicks fan. He's upset. Meanwhile, Carmelo Anthony hasn't played all 82 games in a season since his rookie year. That was 03-04. Phil Jackson, on the other hand, Stephen A. says he believes Carmelo should recover fine. Of course he's saying that. We will have more First Take after the break.
ESPN First Take is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And True Heart, a unique heart health supplement from the makers of One A Day.
It's a college hoops doubleheader on ESPN. Auburn, Kentucky, 7. UCLA, Arizona, 9. You don't want to miss it. It's all a part of a rivalry week presented by Wendy's, and it's Saturday. Tomorrow, a doubleheader on ESPN. Cavs take on the Wizards, and at 10:30, it's Spurs Warriors. It all starts with NBA Countdown, 7 p.m. Eastern. But tonight, we've got a game. Spurs, Clippers, 10:30 Eastern on TNT. Skip Bayless, before we get out of here, who do you believe will win that game, or what do you expect?
I don't know, because I don't know how many minutes the starters will play tonight at the Clippers, because they're back-to-back, obviously, tomorrow night at Golden State. Clippers are playing well. They're favored. I assume the Clippers would win this game.
I'm not going to assume anything without Blake Griffin. And obviously, there's a lot of rumors going around. I mean, the trading deadline will have expired at 2, 3 o'clock today. But Jamal Crawford's name has been mentioned along with others. I don't know what to expect from the Clippers. If I have to go that route, I'm going to lean with San Antonio right now. Clippers do have to get their act together, though. It's time.
All right, it's reverse day. So Skip says it's Clippers. Stephen A. Smith says that he's going to go with the Spurs. For now, we are done. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great afternoon, everyone.